So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a piece of musical equipment, budget piece of musical equipment, which in my humble opinion is maybe the best thing that I have ever purchased, money-wise and value-wise, in 40 years of guitar playing. I'll give you some examples of the sounds of it, I'll tell you why I think it's so good, and I'll also tell you how I managed to save a gig that I did the other week there. So, let's get into the video. Please subscribe. So this magical piece of musical equipment is in this cardboard box. Now you're probably wondering what it is. I'll show you. It is a DONNER Alpha Cruncher. The DONNER Kebab, the DONNER Alpha Cruncher. And that's what it looks like out of the box. So this little thing here is a multi-effects pedal from the folks at DONNER. Not a sponsor of this video, by the way. I did purchase that myself. That is actually the second one, this one here, that's still in the box. This is actually the second one of these I've purchased. I liked it so much, I bought another one. So I bought the first one 23rd of January 2019, and I bought it as a spare for my Line 6 M9. I'm not a huge user of pedals. I've never had a proper pedal board, but I quite like the M9 because it's quite compact and stuff like that. And I bought this, the original one, as a spare for that. And I have been using it ever since. It's always in my gig bag. And if I'm doing a gig abroad, like a fly gig where I'm not taking anything with me, this is always in my carry-on luggage alongside my clean pants and my clean socks. It's that useful. So what is this? What does it entail? What are the effects on this? So according to the box, it's a convenient compact size. It is indeed. Buffer bypass. 3 types of guitar effects in one chain. Classic British high gain sound with wide tonal range. Bright warm chorus module for creating the natural sense of space. Analog voice delay module with rich echo feedback. So I have used the DONNER Alpha Cruncher at loads of gigs since 2019. Sometimes I'll turn up to a gig if I don't take any equipment, like a fly gig, not taking any backline or anything like that. Sometimes you have to plug into a Roland JC120, you can believe that. Not a huge overdriven amp, it has to be said. And I played through the normal channel and I didn't take a guitar, I was given a Squier Mustang. So I was well out of my comfort zone. I was playing through a Roland JC120, I was playing a Squier Mustang with single coils, but luckily I had my DONNER Alpha Cruncher with me. So I just plugged into the normal channel on the Roland JC120, and here's the sort of sound that I got before I plugged the DONNER Alpha Cruncher in. This is just playing through the Kemper, a Roland JC120, and then I'll put this on, overdrive, distortion, and then a bit of delay. This is one of the tunes that I would have played through this, but just recorded here at home. Now when I first bought this 2019, I think it was £34 from Amazon. They don't make these anymore. However, about a year ago I was looking on eBay and I found this one still in the box, and this cost me 30 quid. So this is my £30 multi-effects pedal, which sounds great and has got me out of a bit of trouble. I'll tell you about that at the end of the video. So sometimes we turn up to gigs and we get like an overdriven amp. So here's what this sounds like into the front end of I can't remember what amp it was, but it's not a hugely overdriven amp on my Kemper, and I'll show you what it's like when you use it as a boost for choruses or for solos. Again, it sounds really good. If you use the overdrive from the amp as your main sort of overdrive sound, and turn the gain down a bit on this, but turn the volume up and use this as a boost, great pedal. And the chorus and delay, fantastic. What I'll do is I'll give you more examples of the three sort of pedals on this, because the gain goes up quite a lot. The tone, there's only tone, there's no middle bass and treble or something like that. The tone can be, you don't have to turn it much to make a big difference in the sound. And there's no tap tempo, so you kind of have to set this before the gig. I've not had any major issues. I don't have the delay level up too high, because that tends to put our drummer off, because he's just hearing delay repeats. So here's a lot of sounds from this, showing you what level of gain you can get, what the chorus sounds like at higher depth or lower depth, higher depth, and a higher and lower rate, and the sort of tones you can get from the delay as well. You can maybe even get into like self oscillation as well. So here's some sounds. So some really good overdrive tones from there, from higher gain to more sort of classic rock. Good bottom end as well. The tone control can get quite fizzy, it has to be said. You probably don't want to turn the delay level up too much to get that self-oscillation thing. The chorus is just fantastic. Such a good chorus pedal. So £30 this cost me. This is the second one. And I think that was including postage and packing as well. So £10 per effect. That's probably cheaper than Behringer, I think. Just a really good piece of kit. Incredible value, incredible sounds. So the final part of the video, I'll tell you how this saved me last week. In April of this year, I got the Blackstar Amp 2, which, again, I mean, I'm saying this is probably the best bit of budget kit I've bought. The Blackstar Amp 2, with a caveat, which is coming up here, is probably the best bit of higher value equipment that I've bought. I've used 4 gigs, 5 gigs I think, and it's just sounded brilliant. I had no complaints with it at all until last Thursday. So we were playing a gig, we were sporting Balaam and the Angel. Brilliant band, please do check out I Love the Things You Do to Me, one of the greatest songs ever written. So we're the main support to Balaam and the Angel in Glasgow. I'm plugged into my Blackstar Amp 2, which has all my effects and stuff like that, and I'm plugged into my Blue Guitar Nano Cab. Sound check, sounds really good. So we get on to the gig. Now we're playing strictly to time. In front of us there's a timer that says you're on from 8 till 8:30. We knew how many songs we were playing, we knew we had to play for 30 minutes. Halfway through the third song, nothing. My guitar completely cut out. The Blackstar Amp 2 just stopped working. Power went out completely. So what do? You can't stop a gig. You have to keep going. So there's a lot of people there as well. It's a busy gig. And it's like, oh no, what am I going to do? So I have no amp, because the Blackstar Amp 2 is my amp. The only thing I have is a speaker cabinet. And this. So what I did was, I ran off the stage. The sound engineer came up, he plugged in our mains lead in. Blackstar Amp 2 still didn't work. I ran off stage, and the first band who were on, they were in the dressing room and they had some combo amps. I had no idea what they were, and I just said, oh, my amp's broken. Can I borrow an amp? Just pointed at an amp, and the guys were brilliant, came on, and they gave me a loan of an amp, which I think was a Fender, some sort of Fender modelling amp, a Mustang or something like that. I'd never played through one in my entire life, I had no idea how it worked. The clock is still ticking, our singer's having to tell jokes to the audience, but that's kind of wearing a bit thin by now. So, put this Mustang amp in, and I said to the guy, could you just get me like a medium gain overdrive sound, and he put it onto it, and it sounded okay, it sounded fine. And plugged my guitar into my Donner Alpha Cruncher with the distortion, chorus and delay, played a couple of chords, and then we're good to go. Like literally, I think it took 5 minutes from when my amp stopped working to go and find another amp, coming back, getting everything plugged in, and then starting again. And we managed to save the audience from some more jokes, and it sounded really good. So this £30 piece of equipment, this £30 Donner Alpha Cruncher multi-effects unit, really saved the gig, because I had no effects on the amp, I didn't know how it worked, I had no spare amp either, so I just had to plug into that and into this, and all I needed was distortion, chorus and delay. So there you go, I'm on stage with all that nice expensive equipment, and the one thing that gets me out hawk is this. There you go, another interesting battle story there on Dunsy's Guitar World, looking at a budget piece of equipment which I genuinely think has been just the best thing I've ever bought for under £100, apart from maybe a few beers here and there. But for musical equipment, this cannot be beat. You can probably get them on eBay for, I don't know, £30–40 or something like that. Well worth it, I would say. As ever folks, it's a privilege and a pleasure bringing you content on Dunsy's Guitar World. Cheers for now.